I'd like to pay my respects today to the late Taylor Grant, an amazing author that we lost last year to cancer. I met Taylor way back in, I believe, 2012-13, when I contacted him just to say job well done on a short story he wrote for an anthology without asking anything, as a lot of people normally do when they contact a fellow creator. And we just sparked up a conversation, became friends over the years, and eventually we did start working together. Taylor was an extremely driven creator, and that is what we do here on the House of Shadows and Ink. We focus on the creators and the creations when it comes to dark fiction, scary, weird. And Taylor had an amazing imagination, storytelling techniques, and he's been extremely active. A lot of his projects were not well known yet, but were on the verge of becoming well known or being announced, and then he got sick. He did continue on creating during that time. He wrote some short stories. He was published a few times. He still worked on a few film projects. He was the president at Webtoon Online Comics. But as it got worse, he had to step back. But throughout that time, he was always helpful, always there when we needed to chat. We were actually talking about life after cancer and him becoming a part of Crystal Lake Publishing and everything we do, and actually growing it together as like a partnership business. It was a very emotional day, the day that he passed. If I can share with you just his biography. Taylor Grant was born in Phoenix, Arizona in 1970, and he passed away September 12, 2024 from cancer in Los Angeles. Taylor Grant has spent the larger part of his career as an award-winning storyteller in the book, film, and television community. He is the head of global animation, or he was the head of global animation at Wattpad Webtoon Studios, executive producing the upcoming animated TV series Lord Olympus and the Jim Henson Company, and served as a business development lead on the global hit anime series Tower of God, as well as The God of High School. He is also producing the horror feature film Grimmoryland alongside Roy Lee and Vertigo Entertainment. As an author and two-time Bram Stoker Award nominee, Taylor has shared pages with Stephen King, Clive Barker, and many of the top writers in speculative fiction. With a career start in children's entertainment, he served as a staff writer and development consultant for multiple production companies, working on various projects, including Beetlejuice, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Bad Dog, and Monster Farm, which he created and co-developed for television. Development executive at Stan Lee Media, Taylor Grant worked closely with the iconic creator Stan Lee, co-developing multiple web animated series, including The Backstreet Project, The Accuser, The Drifter, and The Seventh Portal. Taylor wrote and produced the #1 horror series Rotten Ruin, a webtoon comic adaptation of the New York Times best-selling novel by Jonathan Mayberry. With over 13 million reads globally, it is a certified hit. In addition, his book, The Dark at the End of the Tunnel, became an instant Amazon bestseller. Crystal Lake Publishing was the publisher of the paperback edition of that book. I believe it was Cemetery Dance who did the ebook edition. We just, as of this weekend, published Taylor's final collection, which is all the short fiction he wrote, all compiled into one book, and includes 3 new stories he wrote as he was basically passing away. Hence the title, The Shuddering Breath Before Oblivion. An award-winning screenwriter, Taylor has had numerous feature projects in development at major studios such as Universal, Imagine, Lionsgate, and more. He wrote and produced 2 short films, The Vanished and Sticks and Stones, which screened at the Cannes Film Festival and received distribution through Sony and Shorts TV. While working as an uncredited production assistant on Disney's animated feature Beauty and the Beast, Taylor Grant wrote several bits of dialogue during production and worked as a fill-in reference actor for the character named LeFou. During Gaston's musical number in the local tavern, many of the animated dance moves of LeFou were based on Taylor's improvised work. Taylor was an amazing character. A lot of people met him through Facebook throughout his final year or two. He was very open, sharing his journey. He fought incredibly hard. He tried various types of Eastern, Western medicine, everything. The profits of Taylor's latest release will all go to his son to pay for his college tuition. It's sad to think, and I mean this happens with all creators, but especially if you're lost at a young age. If he would have lived to be 70, 80, you could have just imagined the caliber of work he would have produced. Taylor did say towards the end that he worked too much. He actually warned me to have a more balanced life. Work isn't everything. Family, love, friends, health. Health is super important. If you are a creator, yes, be passionate, have goals, work extremely hard, but still have a balanced life. There's a lot of lessons that I'm going to remember from Taylor. I'm still trying to have a more balanced life, but those words are always going to stick with me. So check out Taylor Grant, find his stuff online, his books, his stories, his work. He has a novel out as well. So remember, shadow dwellers and creators, always pay your respects to the people who have become before, to those who have inspired us, who have taught us, who have been there, who have been our mentors, our friends, our colleagues. And don't forget them, even when their work lives on. Don't forget them. Don't forget the late, great Taylor Grant.